What's up, guys? Welcome to another CryptoSphere. I'm Cyflux, joined together with Sid Vicious. We wanted to come at you with another video today covering the G20 Summit. There was actually a video that was posted up by Stuart XRP that I saw that had a speaker talking about all sorts of things that I think are very juicy. And we wanted to kind of go over what he was talking about and break it down a little bit, show maybe some of the connections, and see how XRP and Ripple are integrated with that whole system. So the first thing I wanted to touch on before any of that was actually the governor of the Bank of England had come out and talked about the Fourth Industrial Revolution and how they're basically exploring new payment rails, and how I feel like this is another window into what Ripple is doing behind the scenes. Sid, do you want to say anything about that?
Well, obviously, it's about faster payments, right? They're a faster payment scheme, and the tie-in with not only just is it the Bank of England, but we're looking at Bank of Canada and the Bank of Central Bank of Singapore, which is the they go by the MAS, but think about this, like if those three entities are moving forward with their faster payments scheme, and we looked at the two-prong approach here with our credit card buddies, right? We got MasterCard and Visa. And so instead of looking at the side of Visa, we're looking at the side of MasterCard and who's working with them on that, and the potential aspect of the tie-in with China, because these are all working with HSBC, these three entities, right? And they're already doing digital transformation and cross-border payments. And this has been somewhat publicly known for about a year now. And this probably kind of even alludes to, Bearable Guy's Three Mountains, and kind of extrapolates on these as it, what do you say? Like, so it begins. So as this is a precursor to publicly announce, the Bank of England saying, hey, we're moving forward with Ripple here. I know he didn't say that out front.
Yeah,
but
he didn't say that out loud. It was more that him trying to basically say, they're moving towards the distributed ledger technology in the finance services, and that they're basically exploring the
cross-border payments.
They're exploring cross-border payments and moving towards interoperability.
Yep.
I don't know how many times we've heard Ripple say that. I feel like that the points that he was
Facebook
making were literally straight out of the Ripple playbook, which is crazy.
It's crazy.
The things that he was saying were so in tune with what I've heard people say from Ripple all the time. I mean, we talk about this stuff all the time, and it's strange to hear them talk about the same exact thing at the G20 Summit.
Exactly.
They also brought up something about the UK. I think it's pay.uk, and how they're basically moving their system over to, it seems like, what was it exactly did they call it? I think they were talking about moving it over to ISO 20
oh yeah, the
022.
Yes.
And so that's what they're basically trying to move in that direction. And if you guys already know, TOS Group, CGI, Temenos, and SAP all allow the integration of ISO 20022 for compliance with the banks. And Swift uses this same thing. So if you look at that, you're seeing the integration happening, and you're showing it's basically you're seeing the compliance happening, And I think Ripple is integrated with all of those things because those are all Ripple partners. TOS Group, CGI, Temenos, and SAP, they're all Ripple partners, and they all allow those things to interconnect and integrate.
Right. It's all on the API. And so they're
Right.
just trying to make a conduit for any bank to put their layer on there for the protocol, and that way they can integrate. They don't need to change their back end infrastructure. This is just to make it integrate evenly with any entity as they wish, and giving them the ability to do it at will, essentially.
Right.
So from a
Right.
development standpoint, it's just there. It's just a matter of when does that entity want. I mean, Ripple gives them the ability to read up on the integration procedures, and so they share that with the banks or financial institutions, and they just work in conjunction with that. And it's up to them to jump on, you know, X current, and then eventually evolve them into X rapid, and finally X via. And
Right.
as we've seen, X via was actually kind of discussed subtly with these banks. So obviously they're not even speaking about X current. They're thinking way ahead. So guys, that's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty big. And so they were talking about the speaker was talking about the G20 summit that they transfer about 600 billion pounds every single day, and that's literally just the one bank. So one, and if Ripple has, I think it was 4950 plus, somewhere around there. If you do the math with how much is basically moving every day, I mean, what is that? If you're basically having David Schwartz come out and talk about how banks are looking at the possibilities of savings moving towards it was X Rapid,
Right.
moving towards that direction to save money. I mean, of course, the rest of the banks are going to hop on. They're seeing that, oh, we have it this way. I mean, the whole point was just to get them in the door, and that's what they did. That's what Ripple did, is just brought them in. Hey, come on in, come try this thing out. This is very close to your original system, and see how you like it. And if you do like it, we have something better. And now
Exactly.
they're actually looking, exploring, and I think a lot of these are testing and going live. Why we're not seeing the volume yet, I do not know. That's the only thing that trips me out. I do think that the majority of these major banks and institutions are going to be doing this in Q4 of this year. And so that's when I think that we'll start to see some serious movement. And yeah, I feel like if you really look at those corridors and you look at how much money is being transferred around, it only makes your mind wonder how much XRP could be in the future. So this is
I mean,
20. Go
there's,
ahead.
I mean, with their escrow, they're obviously going to. I mean, the theory behind that is they will kind of monitor it and try to stabilize it with the escrow account. But it's just amazing how much money would have to be moved, and then the Nostra Vostra accounts, they will also be released, so they'll just get even more money to use.
And that's 29 trillion, I think, was
Yeah.
said or mentioned by Brad Garlinghouse in a Fox interview. It was 29 trillion
A lot of money.
dollars. That is a shitload of money to basically be freed up from those corridors and allow better liquidation. I mean, they're saving so much money, and the money is actually going where it's supposed to instantly, rather than sitting and waiting for a couple of days. And if you aren't seeing that the banks are looking at this as a huge opportunity, then you're absolutely insane. You've had multiple times where the IMF has talked about these new cryptocurrencies that are far beyond Bitcoin. Well, what does that say? You know, that it says that if it's far beyond Bitcoin, and we're working with XRP, which is Bitcoin 2.0, I mean, obviously she's talking about XRP, and so a bunch of these banks, a bunch of these organizations are gearing up and moving in that direction, and I think we had that confirmation through David Schwartz, and we also found that FairFX is another partnered entity with Ripple, and they are based out of Wales, England.
Correct.
And so if you look at that and you look how they actually landed a partnership with the Bank of England, they also are moving towards integrating systems with BACS, which is BACS. And the speaker also mentioned that they're trying to move the entire UK transaction system in that direction for the ISO 2022.
Right, all the FPS transactions.
Right, and so I think I said that ISO 20022.
Correct.
They're basically moving in that direction, and I'm thinking that they're going to announce the integration between FairFX and Pay.UK at some point. And if they haven't already, I haven't seen it. I was searching for it. It's not something that I came across, but I do see that there is integration between FairFX and BACS, but that can also lead to other things. So was there anything else that you wanted to pop off of that besides FairFX is partnered with MasterCard, which goes back full circle on that end?
And MasterCard's all in conjunction with that. So
right.
we obviously know that, Earthport and Visa. Now here we have FairFX with MasterCard. So
right.
Guys, I mean, for anyone who's out there doubting where this is headed, I mean, it's just amazing that these specific entities and even the public information that these even out there, where this is all headed, it's on its way. And for us to be somewhat getting impatient, I think excitement is better to be impatient. It's okay, guys. Hang in there. All right.
Yeah.
We're on our way.
Coming.
We're on our way. So yeah, that's all I had. So I'm good.
And we did mention the Bank of Canada and England, and they're basically testing those sort of things out. Oh, we did with Bearable Guy. I forgot.
Right. It's basically the wholesale central bank digital currency with its applications through the DLT in this case. So that's their focus on implementation. And even Toronto Dominion Bank is involved with that. So, I mean, China, England, Canada, they're all working together. And the tie-in with this, think about this, guys. Trump, when he's trying to do these trade talks with China, with this regulatory background discussions with that, I'm wondering, is it really that the U.S. regulations are pivotal to all this? Is that why we're holding everything back? This is just my speculation, but is that the tie-in to all this? Is this what we're waiting on? So I find
he also had that point that he made in an interview in I think 2017 that he was talking about a drastic change in the way that we do things is going to level the playing field. And so yeah, I mean, maybe that's tying in with all that stuff. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That if we are waiting on those U.S. regulations, maybe that's why is everything has to be in a web network to work. They can't basically roll out one bank without rolling out many others to integrate the system. So it's very important that you have all these things, all the dominoes in place before you set the first one in motion.
Ducks in a row.
Yeah, you want to have all your ducks in a row, which we've seen before, before we're actually heading in the direction we want to head. So those are definitely things that I feel like people should be thinking about right now. Don't put this information off. Go do your research. Go look into these things. Look at the different connections. Go look at this video that was posted by Stuart XRP.
Thank you, Stuart.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart, for posting that stuff. I really appreciate that. I literally almost peed my pants when I was watching it because I was like, this guy is literally using talking points from Ripple. This is amazing. So thank you so much for posting that. And if you guys have any questions or you guys see something we don't, let us know in the comments below. And hopefully we will catch you next time on CryptoSphere. Thanks for watching, guys.
See ya.